On point. On point.
Again, let's do it again.
On point. On point. On point. On point. God damn it. On point. On point. Yeah, man. On point.
What do you guys feel about judgment? I feel like in this day and age, we don't judge. We don't judge enough.
Judgment, as in judging people
Judging
and being
people.
judged.
Yeah.
Judge. I've been bad experiences judging because I got attacked. I really got attacked for judging people actually, and I don't even feel wrong about it because at the end of the day I still judged, and some people they can't handle the truth or my truth, and that's why I kind of gave up on. I still judged them, but I kind of gave up on telling them directly like what's going on, what I feel, or what I think about it, or what they're doing, or how I think about them actually.
But I think judgment is, in terms of judgment, I don't see it always as something that's personal. Like if you are judging somebody, then you're just basing it on the evaluation about them, basically saying that, oh, this is what you said, I'm judging you of what you said, and your actions do not match with what you're talking about. Sure, you get.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people want to do certain things in their life, but the actions doesn't match, and then they will say like, why are you judging me? I'm like, look, I am just reflecting the things that you said.
Yeah.
So the judgment is actually constructive criticism. I'm assessing what you're saying. So, but this day and age, you cannot judge anybody because everybody feels hurt. Like, why are you judging me? And I don't understand it.
True. Yeah, I think it comes from everyone getting a participation trophy.
Yeah, that bullshit.
So nobody is allowed and nobody is supposed to say, hey, you did this, you do that. And I am a strong believer of mental health. I agree that everyone needs to be and should be mentally healthy, right? But now, under mental health, many nonsense are covered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You understand me? So now, you can't judge me or shouldn't judge me. Of course, if I'm constantly pointing with my finger and not doing my bed every morning, but I'm pointing at your bed that it looks shitty, then in no way am I in the right position to judge you, right? Because my shit ain't clean.
Exactly.
I shouldn't point fingers at you.
Exactly, that's the thing.
But if I can clearly see that, yo, this is what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
or this is what is happening. It might not even be with a specific or with a certain person, but you can be like, I see this thing and it makes no sense, and therefore this is what I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're actually right, because that is the way you see it, and that's how you think. You get me? But maybe enforcing or trying to make people constantly feel guilty or feel wrong, feel bad about how they do, because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we don't know other people's circumstances and the situations or what makes them be in the position or take the actions they take.
Mm-hmm.
So I also hear, okay, no need to judge because you don't know every information, every bit that might be necessary for that. But I strongly believe that people hide under this mental health, and there's this post I saw which day was like, if I said something or if I did something, hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I'm like, this is so through, oh, the network is bad here. You know? Let me see if I can find it, you know?
Mm-hmm. But I feel like we shouldn't always say that, yeah, but you don't know where somebody's coming from. Because if we constantly understand, look, as a human being, we are trying to be very sympathetic towards anything that happens. If somebody has experienced a trauma, then obviously due to our nowadays understanding, we'll find some sort of like emotional connection in order to prevent them from being properly judged. But that's not okay, because everybody, look, trauma is not exclusive. Now we all go suffer.
Yes.
So you get, so if I constantly put in the variable like, I don't know where you're coming from, I don't know what you're going through, it doesn't give me the opportunity to be subjective, to say that this is what has occurred. This is not right. This is not even righteous in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine I'm a judge,
Yeah.
and I know you. Oh my, that's why they say, like, you cannot be a judge If the person that has created a misconduct, if they have some sort of connections towards you.
Yeah, because you're biased, there's a bias.
Exactly. That's why we sometimes need to put out that we need to alleviate that effect of like, but you don't know where someone's coming from. I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I had struggle too. But sometimes you need to judge me because I'm not living up to what I'm saying. I'm not living up to my full expectation. And that's okay. Because now, as we are all older now, because we're all no longer in those, the ones that are very, very young, we've seen a lot of bullshit that they are doing. We need to judge them. And that judging is actually an advice to let them know that, okay, yeah, do what you're doing is cool, but realize at a certain time, you have to change this. Otherwise, you'll fall into a hole that you'll not get out of. And that's where we have to come in as some sort of like, now we are the uncles now, have you?
And you see what you just said? I had a conversation yesterday and something similar came up. So we're talking and one of the guys mentioned something that happened. And I was like, oh yeah, really? You've been to prison? I was like, really? I was like, how long? And he was like, for 3 months. I was like, wow, brother, you're a bad guy, you know? And
Bad
then
guy,
in the
really bad
conversation, certain things came up. And then it was related to his job, blah, blah, blah. And I told him, you know what, to be honest, I completely understand why your mother was pressuring you. He didn't get it. And I was like, I absolutely understand why your mother was pressuring you. And I told him, look, my age, your age, the difference is significant, but it's not mad, right?
Because
but there are things I am aware of right now that I was not aware of 5 years ago.
And that's the thing.
And I told him, your mom has seen the kind of child she gave birth to. So it's because of her sense of judgment. So judgment can be very good, right? Or being judgmental, like, look, if I don't pressure this my son or my brother or this my friend, I'm not going to force you to do what at the end of the day you don't want to do because I have to give you space for your own personal development.
That's true too, yeah.
But still, my judgment on me watching you and maybe judging what you're doing lets me say, hey, look, you know what? In the next 5 years, if you continue like this, like someone that has no aim, no focus, things are going to be bad for you. And right now, it seems like all fun and like you're enjoying life. But the consequences, you don't understand now. Therefore, because I understand it, I have to put pressure on you to maybe take away a route in life that hopefully will benefit you.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, I just gave him a little breakdown and the other guys were listening and was like, yeah, actually, it makes sense. I was like, yeah, because there are things you don't see. And sometimes your own shit don't stank to you. You don't smell it. That, man, this thing is bad. But someone else will come and be like, yo, and be like, who are you to judge?
It's not judgment, but you rightly said, it's all this type of like emotionality that is not always conducive.
I also feel that people actually also see life too easy at a younger stage. And like we were already older, we already seen like, okay, life is actually hard. It was even hard then, but we didn't see it, we didn't realize it really. Now we're seeing it. And my personal experiences when talking to younger ones and judging their actions, they kind of assist each other and are kind of in a dream world, like saying like, no, this is not
because,
like that,
because this is
not
a group.
happening.
Yeah, they promote
Nobody
you have to say
wants
say
to
that
write the other one.
they promote each other in their own bullshit.
In their own, exactly.
That's what it is. Because for me, it was always the case of like, obviously you are young, and as somebody that's older now, like you rightly said, you need to give somebody a chance to live life, as they say.
Yeah, be
So
yourself.
sometimes the way they're living life is always different.
But on one hand, they have to be like strict and hard and just tell them like, and you need to understand also at that point, like, look, there's a time is coming where you need to like, okay, if it's a guy, you have to tell him like, there's a time you need to man up, like, there's a stage, okay, man up and like do your thing or do what you need to do for you to progress in life. Let me say like that actually. As I said before, again, we will just repeat it. You have other people then be like, nah, he has time. No, it's not like that. No, he will learn into it. No, he's not gonna be like that forever. And I'm just being like, see, I'm just judging you actually right now. And you're listening to the others.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that is the thing, people I judge something, because that's the way I see it. So it's a balance.
Mm-hmm.
I see what you're doing, what you could do,
Yeah.
or I see what you're doing and what you should have done. And maybe to me, this is the judgment. This is the way I would
Yeah, exactly.
have decided, you know. So, one thing, every now and then, if I read it or I see it, I think about it. I'm like, do I really agree with this thing? It really became big through Tupac. Only God can judge me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yes, I hear what you're saying, because finally, whatever fate you belong to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that will be the final judgment, if
Yeah.
that may be the case. But that's total bullshit.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
You're deceiving, or we're deceiving ourselves to believe that only God can judge us. Then you're living a certain lifestyle, and the person maybe you like doesn't like you for the lifestyle you're living, or doesn't agree with what you're doing, and then but you're saying only God can judge me. Brother, this person has judged you.
Mm-hmm.
Because the person clearly doesn't agree with some of the things you do, and that's why maybe they wouldn't want to have anything to do with you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have a certain way you portray yourself, and someone you would like to do business with, so it's not maybe just like relationship or sex thing, but now you want to do business with someone, the person watches you from afar or asks people about you, and this is the feedback they get. Now, definitely, they are in their right to make a judgment.
To make
Is
a
this
judgment.
character reasonable to deal with?
Yeah.
Can I entrust maybe my finances, my wealth to this person? You know? So I'm like, you really want to roll with this, only God can judge me. Before God judges you, there are people on earth that will judge you.
Yeah, and the judgment is just sometimes
And-
just an assessment.
And their judgment might decide how well things go for you or how negatively things go for you. You can't go in front of a judge and be like, fuck you, only God can judge me. Why do you try to straighten things out? So it is good to know that, okay, you understand yourself, you understand certain situations,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be able to be open to listen to the other people's judgment. Like, okay,
Wiser
this is-
people.
yeah,
Wiser people. And that's
ideally not foolish, more foolish people, wiser
Exactly.
people. Because I'm like, something happens today. Okay, this is what Maiwa said about me. Because that's my impression. Some people will be like, yeah, you're not confident enough. Okay, if that's what you really think of me, is I. But the thing is, I'm maybe a person that would sit back later on. I might
You
react
ponder on it, you
impulsively.
ponder on
I just wanted to say,
You know?
actually,
So someone judges, Prince judges, Emmanuel judges, let's say Desmond judges. Now all four of you have judged and said something like, okay, it might, nobody comes like, this is what I've judged. What you say is a form of judgment, right?
Yeah.
So now you say something, look, you always do this thing. You say this thing, you always do this thing. Why don't you behave like this, or why don't you do like this?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, you're talking shit. You have no clue. You don't know what you're saying. Blah 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 blah. Nobody knows. Nobody understands me. Like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah, okay, you're making your claims, but now if you're cutting off everything that people say, or maybe their assessments or their judgments about a certain situation, about certain incidents, you might actually be the one that is constantly wrong, because for you to believe that everyone is wrong but you are right, then maybe you are the problem. So it might be time for you to listen to the way people have judged or have seen things, and for you to sit back and maybe reevaluate if it is reasonable for you to be like, okay, you know what? If everybody's saying that my mouth smells, I guess I should brush maybe more than twice a day.
But you know how it
I
is.
also feel at the same point, as just to add to you, is that I think people don't reflect enough on themselves, on what I've been told. Like, like now with you saying, okay, your mouth is smelling, you should start brushing. Normally it's supposed to take a day, not a day, but take some time, sit down, and just reflect about
Reflect
what
on the
you
smell.
say. Because you would be like, if you tell me, just be like, okay, I heard what you said, done. You go. Next day, I still on it, like, your mouth will still be smelling, but
Yeah, but some people will be like, halt die Fresse, Bruder.
Exactly,
Er
yeah.
redet,
Things like
schau,
that,
was
yeah.
er redet, bla bla bla.
Yeah, because
You say, Bruder, ich hab Kebab gegessen.
I even take your time.
Like,
yeah.
no, it's not kebab.
Exactly,
This is
yeah.
from your guts.
From the depths of
from,
hell.
Yes, from the abyss.
These. What I actually say is like, if there's a judgment, I think people should also take their time and reflect on what has been said.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and not just be like, okay, yeah, I've heard, or like, or what I hate the most is okay. That was okay if.
Yeah, it's
if
like to cut you short.
Yeah,
Short.
No, I mean, for me, it's cool. For me, it's cool because at this age in my life, I'm just like, I don't want to pass too much commentary on too many things, you know, because
How do you survive?
people don't receive it. So it's like
So
for me personally, it was
not
always,
wasting your energy.
yeah, exactly. For me, it was always important. Like, obviously, I want to have my peers around me, but I always also enjoyed having like people that are older than me because I'm trying to learn from them. Because I will make mistakes, but I'm trying to make as minimum mistake as possible. So if somebody's giving me a game, I'm listening to them. Okay, I'm trying to understand. Okay, how can I use it on my life? You know, basically apply it, make it applicable on my life. But this day and age, it's like when you tell somebody something, it's like, bro, I'm trying to live my best life.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean? I'm telling you, this will not end in your best life. It will end up in your worst life. And no, because that's why when,
bro,
most
why
especially,
you run into my flower for a friend, my girlfriend. Ah, shit.
most especially nowadays when we see the development of both genders, you know. Look, your friends. Let me start with the women. Your friend is a low life.
Mm-hmm.
You might have some sort of like, let's say, like potential in your life.
Yeah.
Why are you running to your friend that doesn't have anything for advice? No, let's be logical.
Because
Does not make any sense.
mental is
Like
a
you said,
scam. Yeah.
but you said reflect. That's
Yeah.
reflecting. You have to know that, okay, this is my friend. She has no future, but she's there for 5 years. Cool.
Yeah.
This is my other friend. She's based on academics. Let me ask her on certain advice. This is my friend. She cannot keep a man. Why am I in a group chat and asking them how I should talk to this guy? I hate that bullshit. No, seriously. Like, we have to talk about it. I hate it.
Babes.
All of them, they don't have a track record of anything. I'm not asking. Look, I never ask people that don't have a track record of anything. Like, how am I supposed to start a business? Do you think I'm gonna?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask. So
Yeah.
somebody in my family that doesn't have a track record of a business.
Yeah.
How to talk?
Nah, it doesn't make
Doesn't
sense.
make sense.
On point. On point.